5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're live. Welcome everybody to Blender 3.2 release party.
Party.
Party. We have a guest. It's been a while since we had our guest, but you know already the Live Felinto, developer coordinator and developer and coordinator.
Product manager of parts of the Blender project.
Yeah, like geometry nodes and a lot of areas that are not the star of the show today, because 3.2 it's in terms of geometry nodes, it's we're gonna get more news in 3.3, but today is about 3.2. So
It's still a release, and often we get too excited about the main features that land in a release, but a lot of the actual work happens after the release,
yes,
when people work on fixing bugs, polishing the features, and designing what is to come. That's not to say that there's no geometry nodes in this release, because there is. Named attributes, we're gonna talk about it. It's a big thing,
yes,
long time coming, but
actually yes, color attributes, that's a big one. Okay,
name
so
and attributes,
uh,
color attributes.
as of now, you can already download Blender 3.2, the official release. You can also get it from Steam, from the Microsoft Store.
Oh, it's the first. Usually it takes then their due time.
We're on Linux here, so now there's no way to test at the moment, but it should come. So other than that, we can just go through the list of updates. We have a video that is published also on this channel where Southern Shorty made the 5 minutes, all the features in 5 minutes or less, and also we have a very nice page that shows the new features. Rich new lights.
Yeah, just spoiler. I haven't seen this page in a few weeks, a week at least. So
oh, that's true.
a bit of surprise for me as well.
Yes. Okay. Well, I share the link with here in the chat, so if you want to check it out together with us. Okay. So the background, the artwork is by Oksana Drobodfolska. Is an artist from Ukraine. We found her on ArtStation, and the work she's done for concept art using Blender is just insane. So I highly recommend checking it out. At the bottom of the page, spoiler, oops, there are not only the splash screen as well, but also all the links to the credits, to everybody that contributed art in some way to oops, I cannot see this. Oh yeah, because I'm not logged in, but I should link to her ArtStation though. Maybe art
Googling live.
yes, because no, because I'm not logged in, because I wanted to show it in incognito, so everybody we get the same the same experience. But yeah, you should check out her work. It's just amazing. It's a mix of Blender and Photoshop, most of the projects, but it's just awesome. So okay, well, let's go to the top. What's new in Blender besides the video is that there are light groups, cycles only, but light groups.
For me, that goes to show how the big features might land a few releases ago, but then we are already a few months since Cycles X was finished and merged into Blender, and I still get new features related to that project.
We do. It's related to that project, and also a patch that has been around for a while. Is even on graphical.org, the website for community builds of Blender, there has been a version with light groups for a while now, and I'm happy to see it here coming, because there is also new there might be new light related patches coming.
Is it coming?
I want to believe. Actually, the light group features allows you to basically it's a render pass, so you have to use a compositor to mix it up, or use another compositor, and then that allows you to basically group different types of lighting in your scene, even the world lighting from the environment, or even mesh emitting objects. So for example, we have the light here from above, we have the light from outside, and say you are not really sure about how much do you want the light from outside to influence our lighting here. So you can basically make two groups, and later on in the compositor decide how much you want to each group to contribute
to influence the scene.
Yeah, to influence the lighting of the scene, and that it saves so much time and re-rendering time. So it's a great solution, you know, for the environment.
And we had this feature for Blender internal, or not even, was the other light feature we had.
Oh, actually we had Blender internal had like linking.
Light linking, yeah. So per
Yes.
layer light control.
So we're getting there. No, CCAT 609 is not like linking. I know it's the name is kind of confusing. It's similar though, in a way that you can light only certain objects with certain groups, but you need the main difference with light linking is that you need the compositor, and light linking is the dynamic, or should be dynamic. So yeah, that is like the main difference, but it's still great. And the example here shows the pavilion rendering scene that it's available in the demo files of blender.org, where you can also download not only the splash screen but some other examples, even one that we're going to show later on. The example of the pavilion shows how the combined lighting can be split into interior, the pool lighting, the benches, and the environment, the world environment. So those combined show you this result.
That's so good.
Super nice. Shadow caustics. Yes, this is also another huge update. It was I don't see the
Caustics? No.
No, wait. There. Cool. No, the caustic, I see the caustics, but the website has this beautiful widget that allows you to see the before and the after. So here you can see more clearly how the difference basically here. You can even see this with the caustics. You can see how even with the normal map, this is not even modeled. This is not in the actual model. This is just normal maps.
Oh.
This
so
little
placement, a normal map.
Just a normal map, just a bump. If you look at the model itself, it's very low poly. This is from the Sprite Fright Open Movie project, but you can see that before, the light would like leak in here. These are the caustics that Cycles had before. It's not that it didn't have caustics. There were some caustics.
But there are some people crazy about caustics that been asking for something closer to that, maybe even beyond. Do you know if there's anything more coming for caustics?
Not that I
don't know either.
No, but it's just it's night and day. And also here, look, see how dark the light doesn't bounce as much inside, whereas here in the new one you can see like the light bounces.
And did you have to do any change for this glass material for this to work? Because you open the files from the project.
Actually, there is a number of changes that you need to do because the caustics are a bit expensive. You do need to specify and be very specific about which objects you want to receive the caustics and create caustic, cast caustics. So the changes that you're going to need. Thanks for asking. You made me make a tutorial live, but it's good to share. The Cycles render engine needs to be enabled, and then once you have that, okay. First of all, caustics are in LightPath's caustics. These are on by default, so you don't need to change anything in a new file. But in the objects itself, you need to enable them. So, for example, say I want this light to create caustics. You go to the light settings and then you enable shadow caustics. Step 1. Step 2, I want to have this object to create the caustics, to cast them, right? If this object was made of glass, then you need to basically go to the object settings, not the material. This per object, it's good to keep in mind. Go to shading and then make it so it can cast the shadow caustics. If there is another like glass or other object that is casting shadows, and over this object you want to enable the receive shadow caustics as well.
Okay, so and that goes because it's very expensive. To
Because it's
calculate
very expensive.
caustics,
It's meant for production, so you can make it only in the objects that you need. And then, if these objects are not floating in space and they're actually somewhere, you want to make the floor in this case to receive the shadow caustics. Say this floor was made of bricks or something.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, these are the few things that you need to do. That's not too many steps.
I'm gonna render it.
No, I didn't. I didn't set up
Set
the
up the
lighting, and it's just I need to go here, and I need to make like glass, and then I need to render it, and then I need to change a few things. It's just not gonna get through the trouble. This is a live stream, and you don't have a lot of time, by the way,
That's true.
today. So let's get with it. And I'm already looking at seeing a change that I want to do in the UI. You see, cast shadow caustics, receive shadow caustics. Shadow caustics should be the title, and then should be cast and receive.
It makes for a very short
Title of the no, like the way we
section of
do
the
show
tab.
in, and then it's two mask. These
okay,
two,
of the section.
they should be here. And next
3.3.
3.3. Yeah, 3.3. Let's hope for let's not hope for a 3.2.1, please. Okay, next, volume motion blurs. Yes, this means, well, that volumes created with Blender or from imported VDV files are that have a velocity attribute, they will be rendered with motion blur. So
I think this also allowed for particles point created with geometry nodes to get motion blur. Did they get it before? I think was also related to this
I
commit.
think so, yeah. Yeah. Well, you're the geometry nodes department here, so you can read more about it in the wiki page. Most of the links have like either a linking to the wiki or the manual when there is something about it. And there's also more. There are some new features that are not, they don't fit in a like specific, like there's not easy to show, or they're just things that you would expect things to have.
Like baking for Udine tiles.
Baking to Udine, yeah. What are we gonna show? Like it's baking, right? Like automatically unpause the viewport when switching to render mode. This is mainly a fix. So it means that if you are when you're rendering, and you, for example, if you're rendering with cycles, you can pause something. It would be that if you move to if you go to solid and then go back, it wouldn't resume. And people were like, this is stuck. And there were bug reports about it, actually.
I can imagine, especially if you share the file and you paused the last time you used, and then someone opens it in material mode and look dev and a switch there.
It's gonna be, it needs to be turned on by default. But I think that was probably like a bug report, and then it becomes a feature. And then there are many like that. New color management options when you render, or also when you save an image. So if you're rendering and say, for example, you are in the output, right? You want to see with one color management, and you want to save the image with a different color management tool, you can override it.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
It's pretty nice. And also, if you want to save the image as like a save the render, then you can also specify it in the operator itself in the options. Okay. Next.
I mean, some things are not only a bug report. If you look at the Bacon and Udine tiles, we recently got Lucas Stockner to join the team again, receiving a dev grant.
Yep.
And Lucas contributed with the original Udine patch.
Oh,
So it's
cool.
nice to have him be able to work on that again.
Absolutely, yeah. And he was even here at the studio recently. So, and this is part of what, a task about improve Udine functionality. Even nice.
Yes, created in December 2019. So it's nice to be able to get Lucas to focus on that, thanks to the community support, the dev fund grant.
Thanks to the development fund people over here. All right, so that is all for cycles, plus all these updates and the GPU rendering for Linux. All 5 of you, of us, are gonna get GPU rendering for Linux for RDNA and RDNA 2 graphics cards. All right, time to move into the colors, the colorful side of part of
Color space.
color space, color attribute. So, and this is the first release where a step is taken towards a unified color attribute, color management, color
Attributes as a whole.
Yeah.
I'd say the first thing. So we had UV maps, vertex colors, vertex groups. There's 2 vertex groups.
Yeah.
And then we wanted more generic attributes like sculpt color painting. And this is the first time we then unify all of them. I think the attributes panel existed already for
one release.
Releases. Yeah, one release.
At least one release, yes.
And one of the motivations that for that panel was because we knew that, for example, for sculpting, we wanted to have a different color attributes, color layers, which were not tied to the old one that we had, which was a corner based, intended for something else.
Yes, now there is a new color attributes panel, which it replaces the vertex colors panel, and the main addition, I mean, under the hood is a huge change, but from the user point of view, not much has changed other than when you create a new attribute, a new color attribute is gonna let you choose what type. So basically, like fast and non-fast color, no, the other way around. Full color, or like 32-bit, or like 8-bit, vertex or face corner. So the defaults are, if you are just painting, the defaults are the good ones to pick. You can even set a color by default when you create a new one. This is new. This wasn't possible before. And now you have a color. Once you have this color added, you can go into sculpt mode to paint. I know it's confusing, but it's actually pretty cool. You may remember this from the work from Pablo Dobarro time ago.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of this was his original design, and even a patch.
Yes.
He started implementing some of this.
Yes, that was mainly targeted at performance. It also added a bunch of new features, but it's mainly about making it fast to paint in sculpt mode. Also, when you the vertex paint mode still there for this release, but in the future it might change to be something more generic, and where the tools available in Sculpt Paint are also available in vertex paint. So for now, for this one release, you're gonna have to, if you want some specific tools, like if you go to vertex paint, you see not much has changed here, but if you go to sculpt mode, then you're gonna find the paint, but also smear, and within paint you have a whole bunch of options that were not available in vertex paint, and also you have color filters. So this is huge. It allows you to change entire sections, even smooth like a blur on those colors. So it's pretty epic.
Do you have the demo file, or can you show where people can download?
People can download the examples that are shown here. Actually, I could have shown this when I was
more colorful.
More colorful, but hey, we show it where you can find it in Blender. So this demo, it's showing the paintbrush. So basically how you can paint. You even have like a wet mix effect, which is pretty nice. They also have the smear brush, and the smear brush has even modes for pinching or expand. So you can smear the regular smear. You can also, that's like the regular smear.
What's the pinching does?
Pinching, what do you think it would do? It makes it more like a...
For hair, use it for clumping. For hair clumping.
Pinch and clamp.
That's a pinch brush.
Yes, exactly. Well, for pinching, it's like when you sculpt, you know that the vertices get together. This, because this is vertex color attribute paint, like polygon painting, you're basically modifying the vertices, basically data. It's kind of strange. But this example file, by the way, this has like millions of polygons, so it also shows the performance. Then masks. You can use masks. You can mask by color even. That's pretty neat. Like like in a painting software, that you only want to affect a specific color. It will automatically make a mask out of that. And you can also apply color filter tools, which is what I explained before, for changing the hue, for changing the contrast in this case, or the smooth, like now. Smooth is very subtle, so you have to do it a few times or change the strength up there. All right, that was quite some. How's the chat going, by the way? We're reading the chat here, so if you have any questions, let us know.
Yeah, I tried to read, but it's, people.
We need layers with occlusion. Yes, texture layers. Well, one of the strategic targets for this year is the texture painting.
Texture painting project, painting, layering, node-based effects.
Yes.
Painting mostly, 3D brush support.
Yeah, super cool. What are people talking about? Saludos, Calafate. What is someone from my... Hola. Let's continue. So that is for, well, another great thing that it has to do with sculpting and vertex colors or color attributes is that when you remesh, when you use the voxel remesher, the attributes are no longer lost. So again, it's a fix and a feature. This is awesome. So you can remesh away and still paint.
Yeah, and the attributes are also very important because everything related to geometry nodes now use the generic attributes. The API now for the old vertex color changed entirely. Everything related to attributes now is in linear color space, which means it's easier for you to combine, multiply, do operations on them. And what else to say about that? Like really everything, we're using it. We can integrate, we're integrating, Eevee and cycles and geometry nodes and sculpting.
Yeah. How about UVs? Are they preserved?
They should.
They should. They are, right?
But how can you tell?
How can I tell? By looking at the UVs and I there you go. And then if I remesh in sculpt mode, I remesh to something like larger.
Okay, it should.
Yep. Wow, isn't it amazing?
And that's also thanks to, once again, the development fund. This is the work of Joseph Eager.
Yeah.
Working with Julian and the rest of the sculpting module. So it's super nice to see the sculpting module still getting a lot of attention.
Still getting a lot of attention, and also patches from or things that were requested in the past, and patches by Pablo Duaro also getting, like, not getting lost in the void, but actually moving forward. So super cool. Masking also, they are preserved and supported with the color attribute painting.
And the demo looks amazing.
The demo is super nice. This is by Daniel Bysted, which you can probably tell by the amazing. Well, I made the video smaller for to keep the bandwidth low in the website, but yeah, it's just so cool. So cool. Maybe I should upload these videos to, like, in high resolution to the development channel or even this channel, unlisted, if people want to see it full.
Yeah,
that would be a good idea. Yeah, because I have the full screen videos that Daniel sent us. But yeah, cool. All right, next, hey, yeah, we got your guy here, Geometry Nodes. Bunch of updates, optimizations, performance improvements. There's a whole lot of geometry nodes going on in this release. However, in terms of like new nodes, more like user-facing changes, are
there's not much. As I said, the focus has been both on moving forward and setting the base for the hair project.
Yeah.
Which hopefully makes in the next release, but also focus on invisible features, as I mentioned, performance. There's the named attributes.
Named attributes, yes.
And there's also, and it's basically communication, UI, a bit of visibility, but performance.
Mainly performance. And the one node that I think it's worth mentioning is duplicate elements, which allows you to duplicate the elements, points, edges, faces, splines, even instances.
The thing is, I still think that a lot of people are very happy that we have the named attribute nodes, because they were part of the original geometry nodes implementation. To this day, a lot of the old demos still don't work because they're relying on those nodes. And we first focused on the design that didn't depend on them. So you could have a geometry node group totally without any hard-coded value. And now that this pipeline is good and well established and working well, we have those hard-coded named based nodes that are shown all the way, outside of the modifier and the whole and node groups and the whole UI. So we can use them. They're not the recommended way to work, but I can see a lot of people really, really happy about that.
Yeah,
They've been very vocal in the past about this.
For shareability, also, like if you have maybe in a studio pipeline, or if you want to share them, like put it online.
It's particularly good if you have a material that also rely in an attribute that you create in the geometry node. So you populate this with geometry node, you can set the material with the geometry node, and the name that's hard-coded in the material node 3 can be also hard-coded then in the geometry node. And if you just open that file, you're gonna see it in the modifier, say that depends on attribute X or Z.
Yeah,
and
it's actually on the new panel that shows up in the geometry nodes
internal
modifier. So
dependencies.
it's called internal dependencies, and it tells you, if I show this is even better, no named attributes used, but if you have, they will show up here if they've been written, or both read and written. You can also enable the new name attributes. It's not on by default to see which name attributes have been used, even inside of node groups. All right, next, a big one. This request by the community since forever. Well, since the Blender, since the browser, as a browser was introduced in 3.0. So yeah, 3.0 had materials and
node groups.
And
no node groups
and world.
Which one you're talking? 3.0.
3.0.
Okay, yeah.
3.1 had objects and node groups, and 3.2 has collections.
Object was 3.0 as well.
3.0
because of the asset bundle.
Oh yes, yeah.
This was object.
By the way, yeah, I don't know if
libraries.
the other day I mentioned it on a live stream, and not a lot of people are aware that there is this amazing public domain library with assets like wood, chair, a little laptop even. There is a whole bunch of assets in this library by the Blender Studio.
It works both as a way to learn how to use the tool, but honestly also as a way to get a lot of nice stylized materials for your own library.
It is super cool. And it's public domain, so you can do whatever you want with it. In this demo, I'm using a file that it's also provided on the demo file. It's not public domain, but it is available in here, the Italian flat by Flavio della Tomasa. Yeah, so click drag. There is no snapping yet. It was one of the showstoppers, but it wasn't as easy like to add, and we would rather have asset collections without snapping rather than not having it at all, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of polishing that can happen for the existing assets that are supported.
Yeah,
we talked about that yesterday. We want geometry nodes to be available in the modifier or in the add menu in the node 3. We want materials to show up in the material template, but I guess the first step is to support the basic data type.
Yeah, absolutely. Curve Pen tool. This is a new tool based on that it was worked on during the Summer of Code, Google Summer of Code from last year, and it made it into 3.2. This allows you to create curves by using a familiar pen style tool that you click, drag, and it will just keep adding, and allows you to tweak the handles as you are creating a curve. It takes a while to, if you've never used anything like this, it takes a little bit to get used to it, but once you do, it is pretty handy. This is pretty common in other software, in every other software, basically, vector graphics software. One thing that I like about this particular tool is that once you are, for example, if you're creating curve, is that once you have the curve, then you can just click and drag and adjust it.
Oh, that's so good.
That's pretty neat. Also, there's a whole bunch of shortcuts that you can tweak as you are adding a point. So if you create a point and you hold like shift, is like loose vector, control allows you to, this is really cool. Control allows you to change, well, if you hold control, allows you to change the point of the
adjacent handle.
the other side. Yeah.
I'm reading there in the foot.
Oh yeah, actually it shows down there. Yeah. Then Alt allows you to like freeze like flatten the handles. So pretty neat as well. What else? Envelope modifier. This is for Grease Pencil. This demo shows, also based on one of the files from the demo files, how you can create. It creates like some kind of line between points and allows you to make this crazy style. Let's try it on a Suzanne. Of course, Suzanne monkey. And if you add the modifier, it's a Grease Pencil modifier, allows you to, you can see it very easily if you lower the thickness.
The eyes.
So it basically creates lines between,
That's a very nice effect.
yeah, between the points. You can even if your model is very heavy, watch out, because it's gonna create new lines between, so new geometry basically. So I think actually the default should be like not on every point, but to skip every other point or something like that, because otherwise it can be a bit heavy. But if you change that value, you can basically create this crazy style.
As a few people were asking about hair, I think it's just worth mentioning that hair and any other experimental tool in Blender that you enable by going to the developer, extra, experimental,
not in the official release,
do not show up in the official releases.
Exactly.
They don't even show up on the betas.
Yeah. You have that, and you have a few experimental things, but you're not gonna see these panels in beta or releases, only in alpha or master, basically the ones that you download from builder.blender.org. All right, next, well, there's a whole bunch of updates as well in Grease Pencil. There is a fade mode for the build modifier, so it can build and fade in the pieces at the same time. Pretty neat.
Nice.
The smooth is much better. It also has a new option to keep the shape, so it doesn't like smooth and makes the shape smaller, but actually tries to keep the shape as much as possible, but still smoothing the points between. Performance is huge, a huge performance improvement, and even cache to speed up the evaluation of line art objects. So yeah, speed, basically fast. Enhanced channels. Yes, the video sequence editor now has
That is so good, so nice.
channels. Okay, it is the first step, and there are a few things you can do with channels already. You can give it names, you can mute or disable entire channels. So no, wait, mute and disable is the same. You can lock channels, like to prevent moving them around.
Is audio still in the same, treated as the same, sorry, are audio strips still treated the same way as image strips, image channels?
Yes, yeah.
You
yeah.
don't have the separation we see in other softwares?
No,
Okay.
not yet, but it is planned to give channels maybe a type, so you can
Sort based on type and
on type, you can mute, like change the volume or apply effects one day. There is even, it's a good that you ask, I don't know if you already were planning on that, but in the code blog, which you can access by going to the developers. Oh no, I think I'm asking too much to the,
frozen?
yeah, the thing froze. Anyway, if you go to the code blog, you're gonna see the blog post by the video sequencer team that shows how you can
I work on that. Like Ricard was here a few weeks ago,
yeah,
working with Francisco, with Sergey, and I guess Hjalti was also involved, because we still use the VSC for the video sequence editor for all the open movie projects. So it's a great opportunity to once again start a new open project from scratch. The new one is being directed totally in-house, So I can definitely leverage having Blender as the tool from end to end. I haven't read the entire blog post.
What is your job?
I saw the draft, which was in a different platform, and then like for the blog post, it's like, you know what, I will read it later. Never came. I think it skimmed over, but looks pretty nice.
It is pretty nice. The team has done a great job in doing that. I got the chat here open, so we are also checking you out here. And nothing happens. We are here, the website. Look at that. It's beautiful. I'm not gonna open more windows. I think I have too many options open. Maybe the going like this fast while streaming. All right, so the video sequencer improvements, you can read them on Blender, code.blender.org, but there's also many more things. The video sequencer, actually, one of my favorite features, which is actually not even that, I mean, it's more like a fix than an actual feature. But if you want to drag and drop like an object, like an image, for example, and you drag it and drop, you're not gonna notice anything. You don't notice anything real, right? Well, in 3.1, if you drag and drop something, it would always drop it on the frame.
Oh, how...
So if you had like override on and you wanted to just leave it, just put it here, exactly here, you couldn't. Now you can. So it's a small quality of life improvement that you don't notice until you have it.
If you add via Shift A, that then probably still add there.
Oh yeah. Shift
Image,
A,
yeah.
that's the same. Like it adds it to the actual object. Well, maybe because
It makes sense.
Yeah, you want to have some control over that, right?
Yeah.
Unless what you would add it to like Shift A and it would start like in the operator for moving. Not sure.
No, I think it's a good one. Thousand Short is online.
Hey, it's Alan Shorty. Thanks for the video. What else? Create new scene from the sequencer. You can now create a new scene. You don't need to go here and create new one. From Shift A scene, you can create it from the already existing. Wait, no, I'm showing a 3.3 feature, but wait.
Yeah, I remember.
The actual feature is that from the scene that you have over here, you can create one from this menu.
Okay.
That is a new thing in 3.2. 3.3 allows you to create one from the menu, but it's a spoiler alert. And another quality of life is that when you grab a strip over the edge, you can basically scroll. If you go up, it will scroll.
That's nice. Do you know if it's using the same speed and everything from the node editor?
No, it's not the same speed. I think they should match the speed, right? The same. If you go to the here, if you have a bunch of let's see, we have a bunch of objects, you can also do this from like this faster.
That's fast.
That's nice. And the geometry nodes, I think it also matches, right?
I don't think it's as fast, and I think it's kind of good. That's not that fast.
Really? So if you go here, it's not as fast. So the speed doesn't match, but what could define the speed though? The size of the...
Yeah, it depends on the zoom.
The zoom level, the size. Yeah. Okay. The... Are you the same guy who types anything in Visual Studio and it becomes code?
That coder guy. I haven't coded in... I've been coding actually recently.
Yeah.
More bug fixing.
Do you have any feature in 3.2? Icons.
Icons. Is the new geometry node icons? No, that's 3.3.
Yes, 3.3 because because we finished it in Beacon 3, which is the phase of the release where you're not really supposed to change.
But if you go to the contributors page, you can see, you might see even my name.
Actually, yes. If we go here to the credits page, you can see the list of developers. And let's see, where is the light? Here, 19 commits.
Yeah.
You have 19 commits in 3.2.
Don't remember what specifically.
No, me neither. Would be cool to have it here though. Do I have any? Yeah, one commit. Yes.
So
That-
you are the guy that types something in the VS Code.
Uh,
Development happens.
I type comments just to have my name over here. I don't even know what I did in here, but I have some plans though for 3.3. I just wanted to finish this. Right, so Eevee, whole lot of changes under the hood, shader improvements, performance, the compilation progress now shown in the same place that Cycles, in the top left corner. But yeah, whole bunch of changes in preparation for Eevee Next in the future.
Eevee 2.0.
Animation and rigging, also a bunch of improvements in the NLA, in the motion, in the graph editor, in the dope sheet. The post library has been deprecated.
That is big, long time coming.
Yep, it's gone. It's now legacy.
Oh, the post library. Yeah, I was thinking.
Post library.
Yeah.
Well, and the you're thinking about the proxies.
Yeah, proxies has been gone already for some time, I guess.
It is. Look at that. Proxies.
Oh, it's there already. Okay, it was also
Yeah.
this release.
It was in this release. Yeah, no, it was in this release. In 3.2 was deprecated, and 3.0 was deprecated. 3.2 is gone for good because there is a whole bunch of improvements in the UI, and the performance is now up to 10 times faster to resync a library. So if you load something and you want to, I don't know, you change a constraint in a character and you want to reload it, should be up to 10 times faster, and a whole bunch of updates, mainly UI coming.
Yeah, but this is really coming in the next release. That's why I remember we talking about should we highlight this on the release notes or not. So it's working. That has been happening for usability and performance, but for 3.3 we're gonna have it way more fleshed out, and we're gonna have hopefully the so-called cherry-picked.
Oh,
It's the current name.
is that announced anywhere, or you're just dropping a bomb here?
I don't know. A lot of the things we do is it's public. Everything we do
Everything
is
is
public.
public. Yeah, actually, there is a task even about it. Yeah, now that I remember. So Patrick is asking, what replaces proxies? Library overrides. This is the new system. Well, new. It's been there for a while. Even in 2.9, I think there was already the beginnings of it. It's taking a while, but it's basically the foundations for anything related to library linking, appending, replacing properties, overriding properties of linked, like being able to use, like if you make the minions, now you can make minions with Blender. You have one minion and you duplicate it, and each one is going to have its own action, which was not possible with the old proxy system. So that's a big one. Next. Well, Python stuff, user interface, the swap areas between separate windows. Yeah, you can swap between, if you have multi windows, you can swap from one to the other. So you can grab basically an editor and put it somewhere else. That's pretty cool. Snapping, this is so cool. Snapping, if you ever used the node editor and the viewport, you may remember that when you enable the snapping, it would enable also here, and the same way, if you there was no relation basically, snapping this would snap the objects, and that was super annoying. Next, the
Oh, that's nice. The voxel size display units.
yes, if you use, well, we already used it before, but
Yeah.
basically if you do Shift R, now it shows you in meters, centimeters.
Why so big?
Huh?
Why so large?
Wait, is it? I didn't even. Oh yeah, why so big? Is maybe the size of the window,
No.
or is it? Oh no, is it an absolute? No.
It is absolute.
The more far away you are,
No.
maybe it's a bit much.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be this size.
Yeah,
and that would be just fine. So it should be, yeah, okay.
It's a bug.
Not a bug. It's a tweak. It's a little, what?
Easter egg.
Easter egg. That's one way of calling a paper cut. Markers improvements. Yeah, markers have changed the shortcut mainly to how you can rename them. Now you can rename with F2. just like any other object.
Okay.
In the NLA also now allows you to rename strips with F2. What else? Compositor, there's new nodes: combine and separate X, Y, Z.
That's a very interesting one.
That to me would be an example of the Mandela effect. Like I would have swear that we had those nodes already.
You never really need it because you always had the separate RGB.
Which is the same basically, right? But now you have them just for consistency. VR, there is support for HTC Vive Focus 3 controllers, camera landmark from session, so you can basically go into one, even with the session without having the camera active, you can go and maybe make this a new camera. Nice. You can also hide individual parts of or in different object types. So the same way you hide a mesh, armature, whatever, you can control this now in VR as well. Pretty neat. WebP format for compression, only for static images, not for an animation yet, but one step at a time. FBX, BVH, and GLTF improvements. I didn't add it here. Oh no. But the GLTF exporter and importer has been completely refactored, and well, Salvan showed it in the video, but I need to add it here. Need to remember. Yeah, so many improvements. Do you see anything else that I might missing out?
I was curious about the last one in the core. Support for WOF and WOF2.
WOF, yes, for dogs. Now fonts is the open font file formats. It's pretty common. Actually, every website online, you're not like websites don't use TTF, which is
an optimized. Don't add it, just display.
Yeah, and also open, like actual really open format. So yeah. What else? Actually, we have Chinese language for numerical entries. It's also very important. Improve error messages. I mean, whole bunch of updates everywhere. If you use OneDrive, now there's a shortcut. If you use Windows, improve dragging of preview thumbnails. That is a small one, but in the asset browser or well any browser basically, if you it would happen that why is it taking so long to
it's compiling the shader to create the material thumbnail.
This thing can I not have it? I would if there was an option to hide this thing, I would enable it. This waiting time
kills your joy,
kills my joy, my inner joy. But anyway, the action zone is now much larger. You can actually grab from anywhere. And the same when you do file open on a, for example, anywhere. If you go here and you can, in the thumbnail preview, you can basically click in more places. That is all. I think we mentioned everything.
Some people were mentioning bugs or potential performance regressions. If you find them, you go to developer.blender.org. Actually, no. You go to Blender to help and report a bug.
Yes.
The best way to make sure the problem can be looked at.
Go help and report the bug. The reason why you use this link is that when you report a bug, it's gonna fill in some information about nothing personal, no personal data, only unless you call the Linux kernel version something very personal to you, but like it shows basically which graphics card you have, the driver version, which is very important for developers, and your Windows or Linux or Mac OS version, and the version, this very specific version hash that you were using at the moment. So that's why it's better if you use the link within Blender other than using the link here. But yeah, node editor does not appear. Okay, that's a really bad one. How? Why? Based on the default startup and an attached blend file.
Archived.
It's already archived. Okay,
yeah.
It's missing information.
It doesn't. If you go up there, Case in point, this is a bug report that wasn't even created from Blender. You see the version of the Blender is not there. When it last worked is not there.
Oh, yeah, there is nothing actually. It was 2.80. Ah, this is an example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, please, people. Actually, this is a really good example. There's no operating system, no graphics card, there's no info. So, yep. So that is all. Thanks to all these people that have been contributing to this, especially to Oksana, who prepared the blend file that you can download here and made it nicer, because yeah, there was a lot of paint over that she migrated into Blender. So super nice. Thanks to Southern Shorty for making this, and the video, and everybody that contributed here. And you know, you can join the development fund if you want to see more of this cool stuff happening. 5 more people actually. Today when I checked, it was 29 25, so 5 people.
That's nice. Today
joined.
I saw a graph of the monthly contribution going up
From
5
the money contributions.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, it's not, it's different than individuals, I know.
it is.
nice.
And yeah, so that is exciting. But actually, if you look at the press releases from previous, the number of individuals hasn't. It's still the same than in the last release.
3 months?
Yes,
Oh wow.
it's like in the, if you go to slash press, the last press release shows 2.9 3.1 actually. I wrote this and I remember saying more than 2,900, which is interesting, right? But
I always wanted to have a graph for this number.
yeah,
One day.
it really stagnated. I don't know exactly why, and well, we don't promote. I never talked about it often in the live streams, but yeah, it is important though, because then this number keeps going up. But if any of this leave, the number will go down significantly. So
And we did mention a few of the developments which were only possible because of the dev fund.
yes, which you can see, you can read here exactly who's getting who's basically living by developing Blender.
Yeah.
Lucas Stogner is new. Yimingwu is also currently Richard for the VSE. Patrick, yeah, Phillips, and yeah, so many people are contributing to this.
Are you gonna
nowadays.
mention my presentation?
I am. Oh yeah, yes. Oh yeah, I had it in the. There is actually some questions in this. I don't know if you want to hang out here and read a bit about it.
I would love to, but I need to rehearse for my presentation I have tonight.
Which is a good segue to your Twitter account, where you're just chilling on a 9,000
Piece jigsaw
piece
puzzle.
jigs. Is this the Netherlands? It's like a Dutch.
It is a Dutch ship, yes.
Okay.
Bombarding the Algiers.
That's pretty neat. Such as what you are gonna talk about in 3 hours? Within 3 hours, in Portuguese, but with English subtitles.
English, I think it's dubbing.
Dubbing even live.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And of course it's online, so it's gonna be online forever. But everyone is welcome to join if you wanna hear, listen a little bit about the Blender and geometry nodes, with particularly emphasis on the development process, how was the relation with the studio and the Sprite Fright project, and then more recently with the project Heist for hair. So stay tuned.
So you're gonna talk about hair.
I will mention hair in the end, yes. And I got a beautiful render from Andy, just fresh out of his computer,
Oh, spoiler! Using the new system,
using the new system.
so you can render already or
Mhm.
convert it to particles.
It's on the weekly folder if you want to spoil to the world.
Well, it's a sneak peek, yes. So share what?
Weekly
Share studio weeklies.
weeklies today, Andy. It's the second one
Second one. Oh, ooh.
is in this out of this world. So we still don't have a good an option to have a curved profile.
Yeah.
So far what we got recently, Hans and Jack work on that, is basically a radius from the curve, so you can see then with Eevee. But you still need to properly shape the hair, and that's still coming. But
That's
this
pretty
is so
cool.
nice.
Nice.
The
All right.
work the team is doing on this project is, I love it.
Yeah, and the proxy hat. But hey, one thing at a time. But yeah, this is where we keep. Well, we can actually see what else. Andy's been working on. Nice.
Perks of working with a Creative Commons. I can show everything.
You can show everything.
Probably
What did he
shouldn't.
actually did? Okay, he actually. Oh no, this is actually a spoiler from the film itself. But there is some work by Rick. Oh,
That's so good. That is so good.
that's so cool. This team works so much. It's awesome. If you want to see more of this, by the way, the other way you have to contribute to Blender if you don't want to join the development fund and you want to get something in return is by joining the Blender Studio. So yes, where exactly? In the blog? No, in the film.
In the film,
Project
Heist.
And then production logs. This is where you can see more if you were subscribed or logged in, and then you can see more basically. A Wrench by Simon Thomas, animation by Paolo Furni, character by Julian Casper, and yeah, basically everything that we were looking at. Even spoilers. Actually, the film
And this hair over there, that's still the old hair.
is the old one.
Yeah, which was then converted to the new system and then improved with the new tools.
Interesting.
Pretty nice.
Wow. So much. I don't think we're promoting. Are we even tweeting about this stuff? No,
I don't know.
I don't think so. That's,
But yeah, this is a project which is very exciting because it's being rendered entirely with Eevee.
Yeah.
Someone was asking that.
I know.
And now they know.
Now they know. No, actually, we haven't tweeted at all about the Project Heist project. That's amazing. What's the communication department doing in this building? All right, let's well, 18 questions. I don't know if I'm gonna get through all of them, but I'll try to answer a few. Do you need to go? Do you want to stay for 3 questions? The
Yes.
first one is actually quite long. Okay, who? Now you can actually see who voted for the questions, by the way, and you can see that everybody likes to. I mean, if you write something, you actually like what you write.
Oh, okay. You can like your own.
Yeah, you can like your own comments.
Go ahead. Like the first one. Is
The
there
first
one
one.
question there?
Yes, I was. Well, where is the question?
Right in the first paragraph. I think that's the question.
I was wondering if we get the node-based particle system, node phase physics. Actually, we have someone.
I can talk about that. So, when we were talking about physics in the beginning of the year, thinking about simulation, right? We decided to first support hair and then eventually particle system as we had before. If you put together in a graph what we have now, which is basically animation tools with geometry nodes,
Yeah.
if you look at what people are doing, it looks a lot like simulation. But really, it's animation. It can go to frame 100 and you have it there.
Yeah,
While simulation is something that depends on the result of the previous evaluated frame.
that's how they find simulations. Yeah.
So we have in a spectrum, we have animation on the far left, and then we have physics. Sorry, we have and the physics on the other side, and then in between we have simulation. So we're probably gonna focus first on simulation to allow things like fireworks and what we saw originally with the particle system node, but this is further down the line after hair.
That's pretty cool.
So the effort we had, so the time for that is being used for the hair project.
Yeah, and it's being worked on right now. Actually, we have Hans and Jack working here at the studio at the moment, currently. All right, so second question. Is there a nice guide on how to write feature proposals? No. Actually, no.
There's a way of doing it, but it's step number 1 is to get involved with a module, help there, try to help test the existing patches, try to see how it can actually be of, basically help and be involved in the development process. And then in the future, down the line, your input when it comes to the pipeline can be appreciated. Or you can write in your own media and whatnot. But the modules and the development of Blender are really centered among people which are involved, that are aligned with the agenda for the module.
Yeah. Hi Pablo and Dalai. All the work towards VR support for Blender has been phenomenal. I was wondering if there is any plans to support color management while in VR.
I can't see why not. as someone mentioned, it's probably a bug or something that is not being prioritized.
But it should, right? I don't see why not.
Yeah, it should. There's no, yeah.
Okay, 2 more questions. Hey, because we are already actually over an hour. And you said half an hour, sorry. Hello, Pablo and Dalai. When will Blender add edge and face groups?
And hopefully never. I really hoped that
There's the
even,
attributes, right?
yeah, that's the thing. I hoped even vertex groups was could be removed in favor of a more generic attribute solution, and then sure we can have any kind of group.
Yeah, and in the end, you will end up with something similar to how you can create color attributes and have different domains and just add different domains, right?
Yeah,
Because the system underneath allows you to separate, right? You have edge stuff, face stuff.
yeah, I guess it's just convenient to have a group so you can set, you can name it. Because right now I could even use an integer attribute, but that's not convenient.
No. But now we have name attributes, right? Do you know if there is going to be present preset paintbrushes? We actually talked about it.
We really hope it will.
No, it will. We don't know when, but it will.
I don't promise things which are not.
Life
a clear
is
design.
long.
And live is forever, so the live streams are forever.
Oh yes.
We do having a better brush management would benefit not only sculpting but the painting project, which is being in the works, but also hair and everything Geometry Nodes related. So more and more, I think we're converging with different projects, really needing a decent brush management system. So I have a strong belief that's gonna happen. I don't know when, because we need a good design in a team and everything.
Yes, but I really hope that we can at least define a design soon.
Oh yeah, no.
And then whoever is gonna work on it, I don't know.
Whoever needs it the most.
Developers.
Yeah, that's how it works sometimes.
Okay, well, the curves. I mean, if you make a brush for curve painting.
Yeah, we will need it as well. We'll see.
Yeah,
it's in the agenda, but a bit fuzzy on when and how and what. Still, it's in the agenda.
Yeah, can't wait to see you in October. Blender conference, yes, conference dot local, no conference dot blend. That's the name I use for developing. Blender.org. It's where you're gonna see some information about the upcoming Blender conference. Tickets and the call for presentations are gonna be late June. What does it mean? Why so late June? Well, we said June actually, and 2 days ago I changed this to late June because the release, and next week there's not gonna be a live stream because most of the team are gonna be well, I do the live stream, so I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna be in Annecy.
Are you gonna do a live stream from there? We have mobile interviewing people.
Mobile data with what? With my phone. With like internet at these places is usually terrible.
But that means you have more time to prepare presentations to send for the Blender conference.
Yes. The presentations, the call for presentations are gonna be later at the same time, maybe later this, maybe not next week, but the week after. And then you're also gonna be able to buy the tickets, which there will be plenty. I don't think it's gonna sold out in like a few days.
I'm telling people that's probably gonna be sold out because I don't like the false scarcity. So don't buy if you can't or don't plan to come. But a lot of people are coming this year for the Blender conference.
Actually, yeah, we haven't had a conference since 2.8 was out, and I think the Blender community has grown a lot in 2.8, 0.9, and 3, and 3.1, 3.2. Okay, yes. Okay, never mind. Forget what I said. If you want to read more about the events that Blender is going to this year, or actually the Blender team is going to, check out in the homepage of blender.org. There is a Blender events entry here, Blender at SIGGRAPH, Annecy being the first one. Next week already, from the 13th to the 18th, we're going to be there. We're going to have a booth even where we're going to be demoing, and even we're going to have the part of the Grease Pencil team. Daniel Martinez Lara is going to be there demoing how to create storyboards using Grease Pencil. and the new features in 3.3. Annecy is in the city of Annecy and the south of France. I'm not gonna search for this because I'm gonna show my Google Maps with all my stuff. And all right, next, the after Annecy, 1 month, 2 months after, SIGGRAPH, Vancouver, and that's where
It's gonna be so nice.
It's gonna be so
where
nice.
I lived, but also the entire computer graphics community of the planet.
yes,
It's always special for me to go back to Vancouver, but to also have more people over to be able to show around. Vancouver, I think, still is the mecca of 3D and 3D animation.
yeah, absolutely. Well, and I don't know the animation. There is animation per se. There is with Annecy and with CTN and. But
Okay.
computer graphics, like
Like
where you see the future of what computer graphics is and what the RenderMan had.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about the school. I'm not talking even about SIGGRAPH, but Vancouver itself. You have so many art schools
Oh,
there.
sorry, yeah.
You have so many studios moving to Vancouver, filming in Vancouver. So it's very special to have a SIGGRAPH there as well. So
Yeah.
is
SIGGRAPH
going to be there with a booth.
with a booth. Yeah, actually, the biggest booth we ever had is gonna be a whole unit, I think.
Yeah, 10 by 10.
Yeah, 10 by 10 at this at Annecy. Also, we're gonna get the biggest we ever had. It's gonna be 6 by 6, I think, which is not, I mean, 6 meters, quite big. It's a lot of feet. And then after SIGGRAPH is gonna be iconic. Please get in touch. Actually, if you want to see the exhibition floor, you can get a free ticket, a discount, by using the SBF22 code when you register. So make sure you use that if you are in Vancouver or nearby and want to drop by, say hi. Blender Conference is the last event of the year, the big event of the year, where the Blender team gets together and is the highlight of the year. Everybody will,
And I think the venue is so big that maybe it won't sold out.
maybe not. It's about 600 people at least. It's gonna be, it's huge. 600 people. Like, we're not gonna be able to talk to.
It's going to be amazing.
It's gonna be amazing. Please, if you are around here, consider it. Other than that, I think we can call it a day. Thanks for dropping by. It's in a bit of an hour, but it's good to do this.
Oh, thanks for
Release parties.
Yeah, it was super nice. We tend to sometimes not acknowledge that the release is happening. Everyone is so focused on the new features, on the everyday, day-to-day work.
Yeah.
So in the past, we tried to maybe have a pizza party or to have a.
There's no pizza?
There's no pizza. I don't
No,
know.
no
I haven't
cake, no
organized.
pizza.
We could, if we could still get hold of Tone, we could try to get a.
No, Don is right.
So he won't be for the pizza, but maybe we could try to see if people want to hang around. We're
Yeah.
also having a ping pong tournament this week, so everyone's very busy.
Not
preparing for
everyone.
that. But anyhow, it's important to acknowledge the release, to welcome the community again, invite everyone to try the new features, to report bugs, to share, to celebrate. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Pablo, as well.
Oh, thank you for dropping by. I hope to see you more often. Actually, we should talk about whenever there is new hair stuff. We should
Yeah, I'd
get
love
together.
to come here more often,
Or
for sure.
I should call, now there is Jack here, we can call Jack, Hans, you, leave you all guys here, and
You should do it this week then, because they leave Friday.
both?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe there's gonna be another live stream before the. Thanks everyone, and see you sometime, someplace, someplace for the next Blender Today Live. Is it here? Yes. All right. Thanks for being here. I will see you soon.
Hello.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
There.